Hey guys, so a little random thought here. One of the things that really bothers me a good bit, and it doesn't bother me as in something that angers me. It more so bothers me because, you know, personally, it's a little sad to me, and I hate to see it happen. You know, so much amongst people. And that is the fact that many people don't seem to know that they can have what they want in life, that they can, that, you know, their current circumstances are not permanent. That, you know, the lifestyle changes that they want, those things that they dream about, you know, the relationship types, the home, the area, you know, traveling or whatever those things is that really excites them at the thought, you know, that they think about, that they can have those things. And that's been a question that and me and a buddy used to meet up, and actually we still do meet up, but when we first started meeting up, that was one of the things that we talked about. Like, how do you motivate people to get those things that they want in life? How do you motivate people to do great things in life and to get what they want, and find happiness in life? And that's a very tough question. You know, of course, it sort of varies across people, and that's the challenging part. I've done a lot of reading. I've done a little, you know, studying in psychology, and this is not an area that I've studied as far as, you know, schooling or anything. It's more so just been something that's interested me. Like, how do you get in people's mind? How do we think? What motivates us? What influences us? And, you know, that's the challenging question. And I just hate to see people more so be victim to life and victim to what life gives them, you know, versus changing that. And part of this, at least this is my thought, part of this is because people don't believe that they can change that. People don't believe that they can have what they want. You know, sometimes it, of course, perhaps depends on what it is that you want, but you know, no matter what that is, I think it's very important that we go after it. It's very important that we shape our lives in such a way that will allow us to have that thing. You know, and the thing is, I think it's the process that many people don't realize that is pretty much required. And because, you know, you have a lot of people, you know, depending on what your goals are, there are a lot of people out there who are, you know, they're saying that they want to be wealthy. They're saying that they want to make a lot of money, be rich. And that is that's a great goal. That's a great goal. That's a great thing to want to do. But to me personally, I would much rather have a reason why that is that I would want to have wealth, why that is that I would want to have a lot of financial resources. I would much rather have a reason behind that versus just that, because the thing is, it's much better to have a meaningful reason behind what you're going after versus just to go after the thing itself. You know, money is not the goal. Money is not the end goal. The end goal is what that money will allow you to do. The end goal is that change that will bring to your life, the doors that it will open up, you know, the opportunities that will present themselves when you're in that position. You know, as I've said many times before, you know, my overall goal is to be able to make an impact on this world and to be able to help people, you know, have those lifestyles that they want. It was to be able to help people who are struggling in circumstances that, you know, they don't deserve, or, you know, who happen to have been dealt that unfortunate hand in life, and you know, as a result, they're struggling. You know, people out there are struggling to, you know, a lot of times I see people complaining about their circumstance, their situation, and the thing is, there are a lot of people out there who are struggling, who don't have food to eat, who don't have, you know, who's just undergoing a scarcity of water. I saw this video on Facebook the other day, a couple days ago, that really disturbed me, and it was this guy was at this gas station, and he was eating out of a trash can and food that he found on the ground, and he was just going at it. You can clearly tell that he was starving, and there were these kids that were recording him, and I guess they're the ones who posted it, or they posted it and someone else shared it. But there were these kids that were laughing at this guy, just laughing at him, and it's a common thing. There are so many people out there that are in that sort of situation. This guy, you never know what could have put him in that position he was in. Maybe he got out of the military or something and had a tough time getting a job, and life just became unfortunate for him. Or maybe he made some bad decisions. Maybe he didn't make bad decisions. You never know. That's the thing. There are good people out there who undergo negative circumstances, and some of those good people, like I said, of course, if they're good, then I don't think that they shouldn't deserve that sort of negative life, that struggle, that hardship. But that's the thing about life. It happens. It happens in the world that we live in today. It's just a fact that many people are struggling. Of course, things are getting better. More advancements, more opportunities. There are positive changes, but there's the fact is there's still those sorts of negative circumstances that people end up in. And that was very disturbing for me, because I didn't see, when I looked at this guy, and of course I don't know his backstory, but I looked at this guy and I'm like, no one deserves that. No one deserves to have to eat out of a trash can. That's horrible. So that is part of what motivates me. And I don't want to talk about what motivates me, because I've talked about this before, but that's part of why I want to be wealthy. That's part of why I am going for wealth, why I'm going for to be able to have those resources, because I know that can allow me to make a difference in the lives of other people. Now, I used to think, not necessarily used to think, but I used to give a good bit of money out to homeless people. And to be honest, the money isn't of course it helps. For example, with this guy, it would have helped him been able to eat a better dinner, or feed himself for a while. So of course, monetary resources are beneficial in that aspect, but what's better is to instill in people the fact that they can change their lives, that position that they're in is not permanent. It doesn't have to be permanent, and they can change that. With this guy, for example, it would have been much better for someone to not just hand out money. I say that lightly, because like I said, it helps. But I know that sometimes it's difficult to be able to do that, because we're all trying to I guess have wealth and be able to enjoy a good life. So of course sometimes it's like, why would I want to give money out to this person or whatever? So better would be to get in the mind, and figure out why is it that he's in this position, and what can help him change it. Instilling that in him. So that's been a big central question for me. How do you motivate people? How do you get people to be in that position where they can change their life? And that's a very big question. And maybe you guys have some thoughts on that. I would love to hear your thoughts, because that is very, very valuable to me in the entire process that I'm on. And as I said before, you may have heard this a lot. The process of something is so important. And sometimes it takes having some meaningful goal. Sometimes it takes having some purpose or some good reason why what you're going after is important. Why is it personal to you? And that, I think, is, to me, one of the initial starts of life change. It's one of the initial starts of that. So I think everyone should be aware that whatever position they're in, they can change it. Sometimes it takes breaking the components of that change into smaller pieces. Many people are going after the big ideas and trying to reinvent the wheel and make these massive changes all at once. And because of that, they're finding difficulty, and that difficulty causes many people to give up. And some people, they just simply, I don't know, maybe they just don't have the push, or maybe someone's never told them that they can change the position that they're in. And that's, like I said, it's a challenging question. I don't know the answer to that. I hope that during the process and you know, of what I'm doing, that I figured that out. Of course, everyone is different, but you know, that's part of my goal, is being able to impact many lives, and you know, figuring that out for some people is very important for me to be able to do that. So you know, that's part of the journey is of going after what I'm going after. That's, you know, that's a component that I have to pursue, and it's going to be very valuable to the entire process. Anyways, it was a little random, like I said. I just felt that I want to share that with you guys. I would really love to hear your feedback, if and of course, it's an answer to this whole question. The answer is not necessarily direct. It's not necessarily one answer. It's many different answers for many different people. And like I said, I would love to hear you guys' feedback on that question. What does it take to encourage people to change their lives? What does it take to get people to be able to do that? Anyways, guys, I hope you've enjoyed just a little tidbit. But anyways, I'll talk to you later.